Good morning. Today I'm going to show you some tips on taking flower photography up close without a macro lens. There's a bunny over there. It's not my favorite time in the summer because it's hot, there are bugs, I'm a sloth, and the sun sets and rises so early I tend to miss those golden hours. But today I thought, since the sun is out and it's too hot to go anywhere, I would talk about shooting photography of flowers. If you don't have a macro, that's okay. I don't have one, but I can get pretty close, and there's a couple ways to do it. One is if you use a prime lens and it has a fast speed, meaning the aperture on it is a low number. We talked about that before, I think. So this is a 50 millimeter. It's called the Nifty 50 lens, and it's a 1.8 aperture. And I think it costs about $125 or $150. So compared to lenses like this that run in the thousands, this is a very cheap lens, but it is awesome lens. It is very sharp. It gives you great bokeh. So if you're at a low aperture behind whatever you're taking a picture of, it's nicely blurred. And a lot of people use this for portraits, but you can also use it for very close up of flowers. And then the other lens I use is actually my zoom. So first, let's talk about some simple things you can use to make it easier. These are just white foam board that I got at the local grocery store in the back to school section. So here's what these are good for. Number one, we've talked before about how you want to make the composition and think about what's behind the flower. Well, sometimes behind the flower is a whole bunch of lawn furniture or the neighbor's deck or a bunch of other stuff that you just don't want in the shot. In my case, there's also some of the dog toys on the lawn because, Cody, she's always playing. So what you can do is use the black one behind the flower that you're going to take a shot of to isolate it in the shot. Now, I know that won't look as natural and some people don't like that, but if you are just trying to get the flower and don't want all the extra stuff in the background, pay attention. This is a great idea. The white one, I'll tell you what it's good for. So you can see the flower. Now, if I place this whiteboard out of the shot but behind it, do you see how the back of that flower lit up? That's without it, and that's with it. Hi. Just a piece of white foam board is enough to bounce some light so that you can get a nice light on the back side as well as the front. So here's a couple things you should know. Most people take their pictures in the bright sun, and I think that's a mistake. While it creates a nice glow sometimes, it can be too brilliant and really take away from the photo. So what you can do is use your own shadow. You still get the sun coming around behind you. And then, again, you can use the whiteboard. Now, you guys can't see this, but just out of shot, I have my whiteboard. It is in the sun, and it's lighting up this from behind a bit. So that then when I take the shot, I'm still getting the nice light from the back, sort of lighting up the leaves. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer and really get at the pistil and stem. Okay, I'm doing it handheld. It is very bright out, which means the speed that these shots are being taken with is extremely fast, and it's probably going to mask any of my little shakes and tremors. Let's try a shot with that black backdrop. What do you say? As you can see now, I have the black backdrop behind it. Now I can shoot it with the sun on the pictures, or I still can put my body in and sort of block it. I haven't really been talking about the settings much. I have it on aperture priority, so I can try to control the depth of field. But beyond that, everything's automatic. The speed and the ISO are both set at auto. The black background is nice, but I'm still going to use the whiteboard to light up the back of the leaves some. You know what's nice about this, and it wasn't even intentional, but I just learned something too. In the shot that you're about to see, because of the light bouncing off this board, it's lighting up this part of the black more than further over here. This is pretty cool because it gives it a nice faded sort of from bright over to less bright or dark in the shot. So here's a little something. When I first moved out to this area, there were hummingbirds. And I didn't mean it, but as we landscaped the yard to our liking, we inadvertently got rid of the plants that they preferred. So this entire garden bed is filled with plants that hummingbirds and bumblebees like. And my hope is to help save the planet, one bumblebee and hummingbird at a time. So this whole bed is bee balm, and I can't remember the name of that one. And there's a poppy, there's a rose of Sharon, there's butterfly bushes back here. Those haven't really come in yet. That one's just starting, I think, to get ready. That's lantana. But the goal is, to save the planet. So I still have it on aperture priority, or AV. Everything's automatic except the aperture. I'm going to make sure that the aperture is set all the way as fast as it can go. So like 2.2 or 2.0. And the reason is I want to try to get a bumblebee. What did we learn? We learned you don't need a macro. While having the flowers in the sun can be nice, it's also good to have them in shadow or on a cloudy day where it's a softer light. You can use basic foam board to reflect the light in a nice way to backlight your flowers, or as a backdrop to cut out any clutter you may have nearby. I learned today that when you reflect off that black backdrop, even that changes the tones on the backdrop itself. And I learned a little about bumblebees, that you really have a moment or two when they hit any particular flower because they tend to float around that flower. Most of all, it was nice to get out. I learned some new things. I hope you learned some new things. It's just a beautiful day. Enjoy your adventure. Peace. Oh my God, I'm so hot. Oh, I'm sweating. Do you see that? That's schwitz.